Hello, everybody. It's Renee here, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And there is my Augie. I think she's right there at the corner. Yes. And we are going to do, as you can see here, a paper pumpkin. And we are going to do one of my favorite kinds of shaker cards. All right. Today. And this is a little bit different from what you usually see as a shaker card. All right, so let's get onto my live, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Hello, hello. I believe I am live, but I forgot. Hello, hello. I believe I am live, but I forgot to turn off the sound. Almost had that extra sound. So it is Renee, and it is 1 o'clock. I know I am early today. I had some things I have to do, and so I needed to come in an hour early. So I always say around 2 o'clock. So today it's 1 o'clock, and it's my Tuesday lives. And I'm all excited because I am going to do the latest paper pumpkin, which was our, what's it called? It is the September Spooky Treats. And I want to show you a few things, and then I'm going to make this fun shaker card and show you how I do this one, okay, which is a little different from the other one. I know you can't see all those little goobers there, but here they are, just so you can see. There they are. All right, there it is. Let's turn it over. There's the back side. And then let's stand it up. There it goes. And then it goes in the envelope flat. And then when they get it, they pop it open. And there you go. The materials that were used that were not from the kit, obviously the cardstock, the designer paper, and let's see, and the little sequence, of course, for the shaker card. All right. Other than that, everything else was used from the kit, even our little pop-up mechanism that is in here. All right. And we'll show you how to do that from the kit. All right. So my favorite kind of shaker card is this kind. All right, and I'm going to show you what you can use to make those. One of the first, a similar card to that is this one. This is one of my very first ones that I ever made. And I realized that with this mechanism, that if you had something flat and square, that it would crease. And so I figured out how to change that. Many people make this type of card. I saw it a long time ago, and I had seen it on YouTube, and I had seen it on Facebook, and I decided to try it out, and I did figure it out where you can get that flat part. All right, so not sure about the name, but anyway, let's look at this. This is the kit. This was the September kit, and these were some of the elements. You can see the circle, you can see the spider web, you can see the spiders and the ghost. There that is. We did get more of the tear and tape, and that is for the boxes, and that's to lock up the band, and I'll explain that in a moment. And then we did get, of course, the ink spot, which was the orchid oasis. We've got, of course, the glue dots, and we've got, of course, the dimensionals. All right. And so then the extra items were the stars, which are great. The black stars are great. And then what else? That was pretty much it from what I could see. Oh, and we get these bands of colors to use, which are quite fun. And actually, I didn't pull those out. And those could be used maybe in this project. Let's see if I can find them. I didn't pull those out, but here they are. They are little labels, and that was part of the kit. So we have different kind of labels that maybe we could use. It could be fun. This is a fatter label. That could be fun. We could see. All right. The next thing, we are going to use these elements, so I want to keep them in a safe spot. The next pieces are the wrap. I want to make sure I give you the dimensions. If you want to make this wrap yourself, it'll be pretty easy. So it is an 8 1/8 by 3, scored at 6 5/8, 4 5/8, 2 1/8, 1 1/8, and 1/4. So those actually, when you put it in this way, and then you start at your 6 5/8 first, and then go 4 2 1 1/8 and score. So that's how that would be scored. And then what happens is this, of course, goes right here. You can put your you can wrap it like this, put your tear and tape right there, and just close it up right to that edge, and it closes up perfectly. And you have your little matchbox type of box, which I think is very cute. And I think can be a wonderful jewelry box. I gave you these dimensions so that you can use designer paper and use the bottom of the boxes over and over again. All right, so that you can put jewelry in here or things like that for someone special. You can also use it as a gift box for Christmas. This can easily be for Christmas because you can make your own wrap. So this was one of the items. This is a base. That's how that works. This is another wrap, and this is another wrap. All right, so you can see the wraps, all right, and their colors. Then these are the boxes, and the boxes are right here. And I'm going to show you how to build a box really quickly. And basically what you do is, and the way I do this, is you're going to put these to the side right here. Of course, you always fold over your, and I don't bone fold this because I think it'll make this a little easier to close. And so what I do first, let me make sure you can see this. What I do first is I go ahead and put this down. So this flap is going to go out. This flap is actually going to go out like that. These are going to go like that. Then the next flap that I do, you don't have to glue anything down. The next flap that I do is this one. All right, so those are down like that. And then the next flap I do is going to be this one right here. And I just bring that in, look at there, and just fold it in. So I don't like to too much bone folder it or crease those because it'll make it easier. Then this just comes over, down, and slips right into there. So that's how that box is made. Pretty easy. All right. Just you have to know how. Who goes first. All right. So you can replay that at any time to get that done. All right. So you saw that. You saw the alternates here. It's a great fun kit. And you can see how they use the different labels here. All right. So that is a fun kit. And the last thing that they have here that I can show you is the beautiful stamp set, and it is fun. The spider web, the birds, the happy Halloween, trick or treat. The sentiments are great. Enjoy the spooky treat. And of course, the ghost, one of the reasons I got this, and the spider is great. Okay, so now that you have seen all of those parts, we are going to keep this, and we are going to start talking about what you need for your card. All right, and what you're going to need is simply a 5.5 by 4 1/4. That's all, just one piece of paper. Now, what I decided to do is I decided to show you that from the past kits, you have these and you have the right color. So if you are a paper pumpkin subscriber, you have this. You might have this. All right. This is the June 2021. You might have a couple of these. And then this was the, I believe, if I'm, oh, here is the February. I have another one that was the February 2022. Looky there, there's another one that you could use if you like. Or it was it was the last one with the sales, with the, it was this year, 2022. Sending Good Thoughts, July 2022. These are one of the cards that was in that pile. See, that was one of the cards in the pile. All right, so if you have that, how perfect is that? All right, so this is the color that I am using for this, and you can see that you can use cardstock from other paper pumpkins. When you do this, you use both halves. Pretty much you use up both halves. And so one of the things you're going to do is you're going to cut this in half first. And I'll do this one just to show you. And so I just go to the score line, make sure I'm right on that score line, and then I cut. And then this is 5.5. So you're going to score it at 2 3/4. So this is one of the pieces that you would want. And then it's just going to fold this way. And so there you already have a card. Okay. So that's how you make those. Next, all right, what you're going to need is you are going to need I'm just making sure that I didn't cut this already. You're going to need one of these. And the way you cut that, let's have this out for you. The way you're going to cut this out is you are simply going to trim the one edge completely. So I'm going to trim this edge right here. All right, so right there, that score line is going to go away. All right, and so I have this. I can use this for the backing. So I'm going to use this piece, all right, as the backing. Then I'm going to cut this off. And this little piece could be used as a label or anything else you would like. So there you go. So that's gone. So those two pieces can be used, all right, for these cards. Then I might as well get the, well, I'm going to cut this and I'm going to show you. The next, I'm going to show you on this side, it's this one, okay, it's this one. And what I do is I'm going to use this piece. That's going to be my backing. You could use any piece. I decided to use this as my mechanism to hold it up. And what I do is I cut it on this score line. and I go ahead and cut it on this score line. So I'm just taking those edges. So I want this section, and I can keep these other pieces for something else, but I want this section, and I want to cut it in half. All right, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this section, and this is approximately 3 inches. So I'm going to cut this at the 1.5. So this ends up to be 1.5. And then that piece that is now 4.5 by 1.5 is going to be, I should give you the exact dimensions, but 4.5 will be sufficient. It's a little bit over 4.5, to be honest. It's 4 5/8. This is going to be 4 5/8. And for those people who want to make it without using the kit, will want to know that dimension. It's 4 5/8. And then I'm going to score it. I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to make a score line at 4 and what is that? That is 4. It's going to be 3 5/8 and 3 5/8. You just flip it over. So you'll score them both at 3 5/8. So this is a score at 3 5/8 and 3 5/8. I like to score them and just flip it. So I'll do that at 3 5/8, and then I'll flip it and do it at 3 5/8. And then I fold this in half. So once those are at 3 5/8, I'm going to go ahead and bend those down. Okay. So that's going to be my mechanism. All right. Then I have my base card. Now my strip. My strip should be 6 inches. Your strip should be 6 inches long. Okay. And I'm going to score it. It's going to be 6 inches long, and I'm going to score it 1/4 inch at each end, just a 1/4 inch scoring. So 6 inches long. So this is 6 inches long, scored at 1/4 each end, because those are the ends that we are going to go ahead and fold over like this. Those are the ones that are going to fold over, and we're going to go ahead and do this. All right. So that would be the band. We have the body. We have the backing. What we need is the piece that's going to go inside. I'm pretty sure I have that piece. Yes, this piece is the piece that we're going to use as the back for our baggie. And that dimension then is going to be the same dimension as this piece exactly. And so that is about, again, 3 5/8 by, this is going to be 3 5/8 by 3 1/16. 3 5/8 by 3 1/16. Now you can make it a little bit bigger. You can make it 1/8. You can make it 6/8, which is then 3/4. You can make this a little bigger. It will fit. All right. You don't have to go to those dimensions. I'm just using the kit dimensions to make it easy. Okay. And that's going to be a part of this. So you need this piece. Okay, so the very last piece the last pieces that we need are right here. And those I'm going to make exactly 2 3/4. I'm going to make a piece I can use. I did use designer paper here, and this is 2 3/4 by 5 1/2, and then a white, which is 2 3/4 by 5 and a half. Okay, I wanted to cover the entire back, gives it a little more sturdiness. I like it that way. And so that's what this is. All right. So I haven't decided quite what I'm going to use all my pieces, but that's all my scoring and cutting for that. And what we're going to do here then is those are all of your pieces that you're going to need. And what I did is I used this card to cut that piece out for the backing, okay, leaving me this kind of material, which can be used for something else, all right, for labels or other items. All right, so that's how that was cut out. So now, what we want to do is, now that we have all our pieces, we want to talk about the baggies. And so the baggies are interesting. You can buy the actual bags from the annual catalog, and they are on page 137 of the annual catalog, medium envelopes, clear. All right, 102619. They make life very easy. You can buy those, you get 20 of them, and you can use them for all the shaker cards you could ever want. And I will be showing you how to do this kind of a shaker card. I just love these. All right, and you can still frame this if you wanted to frame it over, but they're very easy, very fun, nothing gets stuck. All right, another fun thing to do is to add rock salt. Probably, I don't know if we could color the rock salt, maybe not, but you could go ahead, maybe you could color it with a StazOn type of ink. And so we could color it black. I'll have to test that someday. But anyway, so these are the bags that we use. Now, these are a plastic clear bag. But when we order things, we get plastic clear bags. When we order things, look, this was from grid paper. I have a mountain full of these to make all the shaker cards I want. I could at least make 2 shaker cards out of this one. Not a problem at all. All right, if not, yeah, 2 would be probably what I would make. So you can decide what type of container, even in your paper pumpkins. The hole, don't worry about the hole. It can always go on the back. It can disappear. You can put something there. You don't have to worry about the hole. All right. So let's go ahead, and I am going to go ahead and use the actual bag. All right. And so once I have the bag, what I want to do is pretty much, it has to fit this. That's what I'm looking at. It has to fit this. So what I'm going to do is I kind of measure it, and then I'm simply going to cut it. And I'm just going to leave a border. I think what will be fun is that if I do this right, I might be able to get 2 out of it. I think I would be able to get 2 out of it. But so I'm just going to cut right here, pretty small cut here. I think I went a little small and tight, but that's okay. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take that down. I might have made a mistake, but I think I can fix it. I think I'll be able to deal with it, but I would definitely I was trying to get 2 out of the bag, but I wasn't going to. So definitely we can only get 1 card out of a bag. So what I do next is I decide if I want to stamp the background, and I do want to stamp the background. And this time what I'm going to stamp it in is I'm going to use the Memento ink. I am going to use black ink. I just got this. It's a fresh basket. And I think what I want to do is I'm really into the spider webs. So I'm going to take that piece that's going to go into the shaker bag that's going to create my shaker bag. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this a little bit right here and right here. It doesn't matter too much. All right, I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my little spider, which I absolutely love, a great little spider. And I'm going to go ahead, make sure I got him all there. And I'm going to go ahead and spider him on here. It's all right. I think I got a little bit too much on the corner. There you go. It's okay. Like that, like that. And it's more, remember, when you do these kind of things, you turn your paper around just for fun to get all your spiders around. And just like that. It really, you will hardly see this anyway. It's just a background that will be okay. So all right. So I hope I didn't put my bag too far away that I cannot find it, but luckily I will go ahead, put that over there. Here's my bag. And so what I'm going to do now with my bag, this is the part we will do. We will simply go ahead and we will use our sequence. And the sequence that I wanted to use, I believe, is right. I believe my sequence should be right here, but I might use my black and gold. This is some old sequence that I have. You can use any. The last time I used these orange sequences. This time I'm going to use this kind of clear and black. And I don't know that I really want, let me see if I can find those sequence real quick, because I did have them. There they are. I didn't want those. This is the sequence I want. Right here. These are the sequence I used. I used the orange ones from this. It's very old. This too is old, but you want some sequence that are big enough that you can see and that you can add. I'm doing the orange and tan ones. As you can see, you don't really need too many. But there I'm going to go. You want to make sure it doesn't get in the back. So you want to make sure you get that down there and over there on the edge. So I've got it nice and flat. Try not to get, that's on the outside. That's on the outside. They are very electrostatic. So what you want to do is you do want a tight bag, but you don't want it too tight. And you want to take your tape and you want to tape it down. That's the easiest way to go. All right. You want it tight enough, but not too tight. Now we'll see if I gave myself enough room. All right. I'm just going to go right at the edge up here. Try not to hit the purple. Right at the edge, right there. See, I needed to give myself a little more room. That would have been a little helpful. But that's okay. All right. So there we go. I'm going to take that down. That's all right. That was not smart. Oh, that was not smart. Okay. So that was because I did the edge too close. So that does that. That's not supposed to happen, obviously. But it did with me because I did it too close. I'm just going to get those off. Sequins are always fun. This will be just fine. No worries. This is a pretty forgiving piece, to be honest. I shouldn't have done it this way, but oh well, I'm pretty stubborn once I get going. Get those off. Get that off. It really isn't this hard. It's just that I made my bag too small because I was trying to save space. And that was not a wise decision. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now we'll be fine. So don't worry about the back. Don't worry about the back at all. Now I'm going to clip this off. Clip that off. I do want to make sure that this is kind of tight at the edge because I don't want to see the edge. That doesn't even matter. And then here we have our little sequence in here. Do you see how that works? I would have had more in there had I not spelt half of it, but that's okay. You really don't need many. These are very electrostatic. Ooh. Not crazy about that part. All right, so that was fun watching, huh? Okay, away we go. All right, so that's the basic idea. Now, I told you that I wanted that back piece, and what I want that back piece for is to cover that up. All right, so you see I have a little tape there. I want to cut that off. Do not cut your edge off, obviously. You just want to cut the tape off. Do not cut the edge of your baggie off. Yeah, they're everywhere now. There you go. And so now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and glue that down. All right. And I suggest you could use the tear and tape they gave you, which is fabulous, because that's what tear and tape is for, which makes it very nice. Tear and tape is always cool. And so, sorry if I'm not in the screen, hoping I'm in the screen. So we're going to lift that tear and tape. Make sure you get it down and lift. And then lift tear and tape. Whenever you do tear and tape, what I've noticed is just make sure that you press it down well and you should be fine. So then I'm going to put that on. Go like that. I can cut that off and do that. And cut that off. There's your, that's what's so beautiful about tear and tape. You just tear it off. I'm going to take that and go like that. There you go. See, you have to rub it down and then you take the edge off. And that'll work for you. There you go. And oh, that's it. That's it. Oh, here it is. There's some right there. Yeah. There you go. I have no nails still from this summer. Going ahead and doing the nails at the salon kind of ruined my nails. Though it lasted a long time, it was really pretty. There you go. Good. So then it doesn't matter which way you put this. You just want to make sure that you lay this right over here. and that's your backing. And you need that backing because that is what you're going to go ahead. You need this backing. See, just went ahead and glued that backing right there. I hope you saw that. All right. And so now what's going to happen is we're going to put this on the back. I am going to use this one. I decided I would try. So this is the one that you have your measurements, 4 5/8 and then 3 5/8 scored. And then you fold these in half. And then what you're going to do is you're simply going to put your glue. And of course we could use the tear and tape, but I'm going to use the glue. This is really good glue. And for something that has to pop open, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make sure that my center, this, I do want, this can be pretty much in the center, maybe a little bit down from the center, but not much. And then you want to put that in straight like that. That's going to go like that. So you can see it's going to go like that and like that. So it's going to keep that piece straight. See, so here are those score lines, those other score lines that we measured at that 3 5/8. That's what those are. And that will make it pop up so that when we put our bag on, all right, it'll be fine. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and put this over the top. That's what you do. Okay. And then you have your little sequence in here, right? So then you have your little sequence. The reason you want your bagging not too tight is so that the sequence can move in here. Okay. So we'll let that dry. Then what we're going to do is I did want to stamp this. And I did want to use the spider again. And I wanted to use the spider web. It's all about the spider web. Now these are pretty good stamps, so I'm not seeming to have to use a backing, my piercing mat, which I like, but it doesn't seem like I need it. And then what I do is I'm going to take the legs and I kind of try to put the legs right on one of these. And so it looks like it's coming right out from there. So I'm going to kind of look here. I might have to look right there and then bring it down on there. So it looks like it's right coming from there, as you see right there. And then here I'm going to do the same thing, maybe from this side. And I'm just going to try and put that right there like that. Do you see how that works? And then I'm going to put another one right here, maybe right there, just like that. And right there. And that's all she wrote. All right. That's all she wrote. I might put one more down. I can see one could be right here. I'm going to do that. Just like that. That looks better. And so now what I'm going to do is simply put this on here. Again, I can use the tear and tape that they provided, all right? Or I'm going to use some other kind of tape here that I want to use that's a little bit quicker than the tear and tape, which is my Stampin' Seal. And so this is the way it's going to go. So I'm just going to put it on the edge, just right on the edge. That one can go a little bit more. And you see those dimensions just right on that edge. We like these mats, right? Because they get rid of the glue. That looks like my top. Yeah, I like that. And then all you're going to do is lay that right on top. You do not use glue. You have to use your tear and tape or your Stampin' Seal to do this because it will not work otherwise. Now all you have to do is just glue this on wherever you like. All right, you can glue that on however you like. And I am going to glue it on. And you want to make sure that you don't put the glue beyond those lines. And you are going to put the glue here on this piece. And so actually what I'm going to do is, but I don't go beyond the lines, put it right in the middle. And then all I'm going to do is decide how I want that to be, make sure that it's kind of straight, make sure that the sides are equal. So what's nice about this is that you can use past. I gave you 3 different kits that you could use. And of course, I'm sure there's more, but I did too fast. You don't want to go too fast with that. You want to make sure it glues down. Good. I'm going to let that sit for a second. Your silicone mat, of course, gets rid of the glue and you have no trouble at all. Love that little mat. There you go. And there you go. You see how that works, how that mechanism works right there. See how that mechanism works? And it's not going to bend it. Now you do need the front piece. Now I decided that what I did is I used, since it has to be 6 inches, I was going to use DSP. I can use cardstock. I just want to tell you, you can use cardstock for this. Make sure it's straight. It is. You can use cardstock. You can make this wider or less wide. It's all dependent on you. All right, depending on how low or how high, right? And I am using some cardstock from the past, one of my favorite. The stamp set is still available. It was a great paper. I decided to use wood here, and this is the Heart and Home Designer Series paper, and I used a strip like that. Now I could use the white, and then I sponged on some ink, but I don't think I want to do that really. Let me see the difference. Which one do I like better? Well, I'm going to go with the wood. All right. I think so. Although this looks pretty darn good. This was just paper, and then I used the old spider web folder. And that would look pretty good as well. But I'm going to do this. Now, the way this works is simply, I could glue it right here, right onto the front, but I have a tendency to glue it back here because I want to decorate my back anyway. So that would be fine. So I just like it to be more fun. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put this down. And I simply am going to put glue here. And fold over. Like that. And then I'm going to put glue here. Just a little bit. Bring it right to the edge and fold over. So you saw I just turned it over, put the glue on the paper, and then folded it over. So that's how it's going to stand. That's how it's going to look. All right, so fun. Now what I'm going to do is I did go ahead and took that same paper, and as I told you, 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. That is going to be the one side, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I always think that if you're doing Halloween, you should be extravagant or over the top. in other words. I don't think you should shy away. Halloween is supposed to be fun and over the top. And that's what I like to do. So this was an embossing folder, and you can emboss it any way you like, or you can simply stamp it. Again, I could have stamped some things on here. I could have stamped the ghost. I could have stamped the spiders and some more spider webs. I could have done I have the bats, which I have not used. So I could have gone ahead and truly stamped those items on here versus embossing it, or just leave it alone. Okay. So what I want to do now is that other piece that I cut so nicely, I am going to use it for the other side. Okay. And because it's light enough, I know that I will be able to write on it. So I'm going to stamp it and write on it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, get it right into that groove, and cut it. And so again, using both halves one way or the other. But of course, you do not have to go to this much trouble. If you want to get rid of that, all you have to do is put a border right down here and you're done. So you really didn't have to put a whole nother piece on. You could simply, if you want to hide that, you just put a strip down right down here and then do what I'm going to do next, and you're done. And this strip can be just as wide as this, and that's it. Okay, so 1.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches is what you would need. So I'm just going to place that right on top of there. Oh, no. Oh, I wanted to stamp first. Okay, well, we will stamp anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, we will see if I can get away with this. We are going to put Happy Halloween right there. We all know that when we do this, we go ahead and look and see if it's straight. We go ahead and I'm going to use my memento, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in black. Let's hope I do that. Let's hope it works. Ah, it does. It does. Happy Halloween. It did just fine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my ghost like I did this one. I did put a little border down there. And I could put a little border down here, but I'm not going to at this point. And I'm going to stamp my little ghost maybe right here. And hopefully it works. I think it might. We'll see. We will see, because that's not what I should have done. I should have done that before I glued it on. I use some more of this black ink just to make sure I'm getting a good hit of that. Okay, because I don't want it to mess up. I'm going to try in this, and let's hope. Let's hope for the best, shall we? Pushing really hard, hoping amongst hopes. Yay! Don't do it that way. First stamp, then. And then, of course, your message right here, and that'll be cute. All right, so we still have this part. And what I do here is now I use my little spider, and I glued my little spider on here, which I'm going to continue to do. And how I did this is I just put a strip of glue right down the center. Right down the center of him. And then he's going to go right towards the edge, right there. At that edge, right there is how I did that. All right, right like that. Then for my ghost, I wanted to put him right here at the front. And all I do is I just do the bottom part because that's all the part I want there. And I'm going to put him just right here on the side, just like that. And there you go. Just making sure it folds. Just make sure it folds like it's supposed to, just like this. You see how it goes? Just make sure that it does that. And then he stands up. Isn't that cute? Isn't that too fun? That's all it is. And then you have your little sequence in here. And then you have your back, which I think is great. All right, and goes really well with that. All right, that is a wrap of that. Now with this one, I will tell you that I did emboss this with the wood embossing folder that they have in the annual catalog. And then I did use the white, the Whisper white ink, which is very sticky. And I did use a brush, and I brushed a little bit the white on. Make sure you don't get too much. I did wash it off. Okay, I do wash them off. But after that, what I do is use a cloth afterwards. Use a lint cloth to wipe off after you wash them with soap and water, because that's what I do. But you'll need a lint cloth because they do get a little bit linty after you wash them. So make sure that you take care of that. Well, what do you think? What do you think? Besides making that little bag a little bit too small and not tons of sequins, but still sequins in there, you can still see the sequins. I don't know if you can. Can you see the sequins in there? It's there. See, some's up here and some's right down there. So you can see the sequence. It just, yeah, you see, there it is. See, you can see it. I didn't use too much, but still it's in there. These were a little bit better. There were more in there. But basically, that's how you make these. I think they're really cute. I really do like them. And I will definitely be sending them away to some kiddos. And of course, this paper was from the mini catalog, just to tell you. That was obviously the Halloween paper from the, I do believe it was from the mini, but it is called Black and White Designs. This is the paper, Black and White Designs, and there's all kinds. One side is all black and the other side is white and black. So I don't know. I think that's what it was. Of course, if you have the cottage designer series paper, you also have black and white. So there's just all kinds of opportunities. Well, I thought this was a different kind of card. I hope you like it. Please thumbs up if you think this is a cute little shaker card and a little bit different, or heart on my Facebook page. I will see you next week. This is number 6 of 10. Next week will be 7 of 10. And I have a surprise because I want to show you everything about labels, because as we now go into the holidays, we need all kinds of different labels. How do we work those labels? And so that is what we are going to talk about. Okay. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. See you next week.